Our final segment has to do with partying on college campuses, and TYT University, a show on our network, actually discussed this in a little more detail. Let's take a look at that.
California Polytechnic State University is about to get a whole lot less fun. The Greek system is negotiating right now with the university for future drinking restrictions. Let's talk about some of them. Let's bring up this graphic. No kegs, no shots, no drinking games. You can only bring 1 6-pack or 1 bottle of wine per person. You must register your parties 5 to 10 days beforehand based on how many people are there. And by the way, so you have to have a list of the names of the people that are going to be there. And then after the party, you have to submit a list of the names of the people who went to it. Wow. So that they can compare the two lists. Parties with alcohol are closed to the public. They can't be longer than 4 hours, and they have to end by midnight. You can't promote or advertise the parties in any sort of mass way. You can't encourage people to overdrink. Oh, and by the way, no hard liquor of any type. So just for not just the no shots, no sipping or mixed drinks or anything like that. Yeah, you have to do the follow-up lists, and no alcohol during welcome week or finals week when people want to drink the most. Now,
can I give you a quick synopsis of that list?
Yeah.
No drinking.
Yeah, basically. No. You can drink a wine cooler. You can sip a wine cooler.
That is unbelievable. Now, we all just graduated college, so we're very close to this topic. James, I want to bring you in. What do you think about this? Are the students even going to listen to this shit? Like, this is insane.
More regulations. That'll solve the problem of kids wanting to have fun. Yeah, let's reduce the time of parties in an effort to discourage people from getting wasted as quickly as they can. That's definitely going to work. No, this is like America's pathology writ large. You've got an administrative class that wants everyone to behave and follow the rules and be nice all the time, and so they create this suffocating regime. And then the minute the bell rings and the minute the kids can scurry away from the omnicompetent administrators, they go off campus or they go sneak somewhere, and they veer as hard in the opposite direction as they can. They're sick of being domesticated. They break out of the confines of the playground and they go crazy. So this is going to make college suck in 2 ways. It's going to make it more boring during fun times, and then it's going to make it more dangerous and crazy in the off hour.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. John, why do you think that they all of a sudden propose this legislation? By the way, they proposed it about a month ago, and now it's starting to be put to use.
Right.
Why do you think they're doing this? I mean, could sexual assault on college campuses play a role? That's been a really big news story recently.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's all about dollars and cents and lawsuits. It's just like the NFL. They knew since the game started, these guys, their brains were getting crushed constantly. They knew all about these hits. And they didn't do anything until the older players filed a massive lawsuit. Now suddenly football doesn't look like football anymore. All these rules, all these new regulations. If you touch a guy on the knee, if you touch his head, if you go with your sleeve, it's a 15-yard penalty. It's all about the dollars and cents. And so they were sued. And I think from what I read, I don't know if the payout was $16 million. So for them, it's just about not paying another lawsuit again, and so everybody, suffers for that. So really, it's the suits and it's the dollars and cents. I
feel like the most memorable parts of college, the parts where I learned the most, included the parties, right? You learn more about politics there. You learn more about, social interaction and things that you'll take with you for the rest of your life.
Especially if you're a shitty student like we were, right?
Well, I was actually a very good student.
College?
I was a little bit of a teacher's pet, which everyone at TYT makes fun of me for, at Cal State Northridge. But Jimmy, tell me about your college experience. Were you like a party animal?
Oh.
Yeah, I want to know. You seem like you would be a party animal, a little rabble-rouser.
Here's what happened at my school. I went to Illinois State University, and they passed some of these laws one time over the summer. So when we all came back to school, they had all these new rules in place about you couldn't throw a party. And the biggest rule was that you couldn't transport a keg. After 10 p.m.
Okay.
Which happened all the time. You run out of beer, you go get another keg, right? The liquor store is open until midnight. So what they would do is the cops would wait outside liquor stores. They would let you sell it. You could sell it to somebody at 10 o'clock or 9:55.
But you couldn't
and then they would
transport it.
follow you, and as soon as it turned to 10 o'clock, they would pull you over and arrest you. So that's the kind of things that they do to college students. That makes brilliant, right? So what college students did was we then rioted. There was a riot. They had to bring in the state police and the National Guard and tear gas. We were on CBS Stan Rather News. We had a riot. That's exactly what he said about if you squeeze the balloon here, it comes out over here. So what they're doing is driving students off campus to do things that are more dangerous and involve more travel. So it's exactly the unintended consequences of stupid laws like, hey, why don't they just say no skirts above the knee either? You know, it's ridiculous. These are kids in college. They're looking to break out, and those kind of rules make it worse. And the reason why they're doing that is because they're fucking dumb.
All right, well said. I mean, I don't even know what else I could add to that. But I do want to know about you, John. You know, any crooks and liars experiences when you were in college?
You know, I went to Hunter College in New York, so I wasn't the typical lifestyle that you see out in California. But yeah, it was a few parties. I sort of caused a little damage in my day.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
But being a musician and studying music. But you know, I loved college. I mean, high school was a chore. But college, you know, after the first year I got used to it, I just loved it. And when you take away, that's why so much people are like, they love their alma maters. I mean, I'm not a big college football fan or anything like that, but people, you know, because it was such a great time in everybody's lives. And by trying to squash it because of lawsuits, is really unfortunate for the students. And again, they'll just find ways to get around, because there's one thing when you're like, you know, 18 to 20, you're going to find a way to party.
Right.
You know, it just, you can't stop it. And you're going to find a way to get around these restrictions.
They can't keep drugs out of prisons, John. They can't keep drugs out of prisons.
By the way.
And they think they're somehow going to keep free college kids from drinking. It's just not going to happen. So instead of addressing it like adults, they put in these stupid rules that make them look ridiculous, breeds disrespect for authority and the law, and just makes the problem worse, which is exactly what we've been doing in the United States since the drug war began.
All right. James, you get the last thought.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna stick my neck out a little bit.
Okay.
You know, frat
You
guys.
gonna reveal something?
No,
Come
no,
on, what
I'm not gonna reveal
happened? Tell
something.
us the eve of 1987.
I'll put it this way. I was in a fraternity in college, and the old guys, you know, would tell these tales of how you used to have kegs on campus Sunday morning. You just put them out front of the frat house and drink your way to, you know, Sunday afternoon when you would take a long nap. Frat guys, you know, yes, they can be douchey. Yes, they can be tools. Yes, sexual assault can be a very bad problem on college campuses. But it's like the same thing with the sex offenders or anyone else who thinks that they're persecuted all the time. If you push and push and push on people and tell them that they're scum and that they're not respected and they're despised, they will react against you.
Yeah.
They will say, all right, fine, F it. I'm gonna get wasted every night this week because I'm just a scum frat douche. And I'm gonna show you just how horrible of a person I am.
Those insults really hurt your feelings, huh? You're still carrying it with you today.
Fortunately, my fraternity was full of artists and musicians and weirdos, so it was not sort of standard fraternity party fare. But yeah, I mean, I think you gotta like admit that guys in frats, no matter how douchey they are human beings too, and we need to treat everyone as humans.
All
And
right.
that's
You
the
know,
way forward.
I could have been in a frat in college if I'd have just held that egg in my ass 8 seconds longer. But
Did you get hazed at all?
I don't know if I'd call it hazing, but it was ridiculous.
All right.